Hi, finally made it back onto YouTube. An awful lot of things going on at the moment. I don't think I've ever been in a situation where photography has been part of that sort of mental health aspect of my life even more than ever, and I hope that that's what photography is bringing to you, that idea that you can have escape, you can do something, you can get out there, and just to go out and just focus on through that camera, literally focus to look at something, to just for those few minutes, half an hour, even an hour if we can, just to get out and do those things is so important right now. I think part of what I wanted to say, and I'm going to be pretty honest here, I think more than anything else, and if you're not interested, that's fine, but I feel it's important. I think that if you are looking to sort of talk about photography, talk about what it's for you, get in touch. You know, it's great talking to you, but I really think during this time photography is very, very important. Get out there, get your camera, even if it's for a few minutes, and get shooting. And that's certainly what I've been trying to do over the past sort of week or so, because I literally have been locked up because of obviously COVID and things like that, and that mental health side, what photography can bring, is phenomenal. And I really want to discuss that, and I think that hopefully women that are watching this, and it's just the same for you, but us blokes are terrible at talking about it and terrible at opening up and looking at what photography means in terms of our mental health sometimes, even just opening up about, you know, what you get from it, and I get an awful lot from it. So please get in touch, have a chat. You know, at the end of the day, that's what gets us through certain things like this, and I think that's what unites us as photographers. We're in it for many different reasons, but I think ultimately we are here it makes us feel better, maybe. I think that for me is my overriding thing. It really does help in my life. That's why it's become such a big part of my life. Moving forward, what I thought I'd do is just to sort of, as I say, get in touch with you. It's not just about, obviously, that's one of my topics. Another topic is lenses. In particular, are there any badly made lenses these days? Are all lenses pretty good? Certainly from my early days, you definitely had a cheap line and you had an expensive line. When I bought this Canon, I bought this Canon not because it was a passionate thing, it was because it did a job, and that was the most important thing of all. It's mostly for my YouTube, it's mostly for if I want to go out and do some landscape work, and it'll probably stay in the bag most of the time. I use my other cameras, I prefer them, that's what I shoot with these days, you know, my Fuji or my GR. I have the process in my next year of going and getting something else maybe, but that's part of what I do, and that's why I have the YouTube channel, to keep on chopping and changing, and what I enjoy. Some people don't stick with the camera, there's nothing wrong with that. So I went out and when I bought the camera, I bought what they call the kit lens, which is the RFL 24-105, because you've got the red ring on it. It's the same as the EFL, it's the professional lens. It's an f4, it's a very good lens. It's extremely heavy. In fact, it weighs just as much as the camera, if not a little bit more. And I needed something that was more lightweight for video work, especially if I'm out and about. I wanted to handhold something like that. There's no way I can handhold that. So I need something a bit lighter. I had a good look around. I wanted a 35mm lens, and I looked on YouTube. They did some comparisons, and the RF 35mm I found second hand was a very good price. It's got image stabilization, it's got the control ring, it's f1.8, and actually when people compared it to say the 35mm EFL 1.4, the differences were there, but they weren't vast, and they certainly weren't 5 times better, which is what the price would be. And that's the only way I can equate it, is to sort of say, if I'm paying that sort of money, I've got to have something that I think that has really brought something forward. Otherwise, I'm paying an awful lot just because it's got a red ring and it's a professional lens. And don't get me wrong, because I know you're going to say, oh yes, but the glass and everything. Yeah, I agree with that. You should have a good lens. I've got a good lens for this setup because I felt it was important to have it, especially for landscape work. But for what I needed with this, I wasn't prepared to go and spend. The cheapest was going to be £900. The most expensive was £3,500 if I went for an RF that could fulfill the 35mm focal length. And that's what I wanted to talk about. That's what I wanted to sort of say to you today. You know, do you think you do get bad lenses, or basically are all lenses good? And really what you're doing is you're looking for the extra quality, the extra bit. Obviously what they've taken out of this is it's plastic, so it's not the proper sort of manufacturing materials that the RFL has. It's not weather sealed, where that lens is weather sealed. You do have some negatives to it, but for what I wanted it to do, this does it. It sounds terrible really, but I really didn't buy it to take photographs. I did it for videoing more than anything else, and that's actually mostly what I'm going to use this camera for videoing. So really I'm looking from a different perspective. However, looking out there, a lot of manufacturers have different lines, and I think nowadays you'd be hard pushed to go and find yourself a bad lens. There are bad lenses out there, but if you really did your research properly and you looked at it closely, I used to remember the days when Tamron and Sigma were considered not that great. Now you look at them and they're producing some phenomenal lenses that actually, when you actually look at it, challenge the actual manufacturer's own lenses without a doubt. Some of the more cheaper lenses like the Samyangs that are coming in from China, again, they've got great characteristics, and that's something that I think sometimes lenses lack. You know, I mean, in many respects this 35 I've got at the moment, it lacks a characteristic, but it does a job, which is all I wanted to do a job, and that is simply it. That's all I'm looking for. I will keep the RFL sort of nice and safe, and the 35 I'll take out an awful lot because it's lightweight. It's a great setup for videography. So that was just another topic that I felt is probably worthwhile covering and seeing what people think. You know, is there a bad lens? Oh, the other thing this has got that a lot of them don't have, it's actually got macro, which I think is quite a good feature. It's only 1 to 2, but it's still got a macro setting on it. Discuss it. Get back to me. See what you think. Maybe you don't agree, and that's fine. Maybe you've just got expensive lenses, and that's absolutely fine. Maybe I'm slightly sort of tainted with the fact because this isn't my main camera. It's basically the camera that I work with. I'm taking it to work tomorrow. I'm going to use it to demonstrate things on. That's it. You know, I won't be taking my other cameras. They're the cameras that I go and pick up every day, and I go out and shoot with those. So I think that's part of the reason. Maybe it is. I don't know. Whatever. So get back, see what you think. The other thing was Christmas is on the horizon, looming large. Maybe people are saying, oh, I don't know what I want. Maybe. And I was thinking, what about books? And I bought some books a while ago, and I have to say, one of the things I find sometimes is difficult is that idea of, what am I going to give myself to aim at when I'm going to do my photography? What is it that I should be looking at? Sometimes you struggle for that inspiration. So, bearing that in mind, I would recommend these. This is 52 assignments. They do have the ones, I've got landscape and I've got abstract 52 assignments. This one's Brian Lloyd Duckett. They're not that expensive, but what they do is they give you 52 assignments. They give you, basically, you've got your assignments there, a little checklist. It sort of gives you things like, so you get your assignment, you get your technique, you get a sort of an idea about it, how to go about it, what other people have done about, some field notes, and then you even get a little bit of a bit where you can write for an assignment journal about what you did. So I think it's a great thing to sort of think about. Maybe it's Christmas present, or maybe you're just absolutely fed up and bored right now and you're looking for something to aim at. I highly recommend that, and I think that's important. It's important to give yourself that sort of focus. For me at the moment, I'm focusing on creating cinematography photographs. So I've been teaching myself different sort of techniques in post-processing. I've also I'm looking more towards colours, colour matching. Looking at how to sort of get that into my photographs to see if they can do something different. So I'm looking for those opportunities as well. And as the weather, then it's a horrible grey, very cold day. As the weather's not so good, trying to find different things to look at can become quite difficult. I'm looking more towards urban at the moment because I think that harshness is it fits the weather quite well. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. Tell me about what you're up to at the moment. Tell me about sort of things that you're getting involved with. Maybe we can share those amongst viewers, subscribers, about what they're doing as well. I've rambled enough. I'm so pleased to sort of finally get this done, finally get it out to you. I'll be surprised if you give it a thumbs up, because it's a bit of a mixed bag between mental health, between lenses, between possible books, things like that. If you haven't liked it, that's fine. But I really wanted to sort of get in contact with you. I really felt it was important. I will be producing more content. Hopefully as the run into Christmas things get a bit better, especially maybe some low light content as well. I'm going to sort of push that f2 35mm equivalent lens on my 100V, see what that can come up with as well. I might even take this out because it's a 1.8 35mm on a full frame. You never know, but whatever it is, I'm going to try and get out there. Our lockdown finishes in a week, so we'll be able to get out more of the shops, be a bit more people about maybe, and try and get out there and see what's out there, see what's happening. If you've got any suggestions, hey, if you want me to do some landscape work, I could get back and do that, put on some filters, things like that. Maybe you would like to see me do some like long exposures, water, things like that, whatever. If you've got some suggestions you'd like to make, that's great. Maybe we can incorporate those. If the suggestions are rude and you basically just want me to go away, then just keep it to yourself, that's fine. But that's your choice. Whatever it is, whatever you're doing, please get in contact. Please stay safe. I will be back shortly with more content. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Take care now. Bye bye.